Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So it's week 6 of the NFL season and the 3-2 Jets are going to be traveling to Lambeau Field to take on the 3-2 Packers. This is a Packers team that's coming off a pretty bad loss against the Giants overseas in London. They had a sizable lead, but they blew it. Credit the Giants, they went out there, they executed, they made the plays and won the game, but I mean, man, as a Packers fan, you're looking at that performance, you're looking at that team overall, they should have put the Giants away. They should have closed out. We look at their record this season, they dropped the first game against the Minnesota Vikings, but then rattled off 3 straight wins against the Bears, Bucks, and Patriots, and then of course dropped, again this past week against the Giants. So overall 3-2, when I'm looking at this Packers squad, I still see a playoff team, and the one thing I've always admired, well really these past couple of seasons specifically, about this Packers organization, I feel like they do a really good job. We hear the terms all the time. Are you win now? Are you rebuilding? What's the direction? I feel like a lot of people would like to classify teams as either one or the other, but I think the Green Bay Packers do a really, really good job of being a win now team, but also rebuilding, but more so reloading at the same time. My first thought when I think about Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, Bakhtiari, playoff success, Matt LaFleur's been here for a couple of seasons now. He's really ingrained himself into that Packers organization. Kind of a veteran, team, but the reality of the situation is that the Packers have tons of young talent, tons of guys to really get excited about. Eric Stokes, one of my favorite young players in football, Rashawn Gary, AJ Dillon, Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. I know he's not having the best of seasons, but I'm still a fan of Darnell Savage. I wouldn't close the door on his career at this point. So again, I feel like Green Bay does a really good job of staying consistent, winning a lot of football games, getting to the playoffs, but they're also cycling in a ton of young talent at the same time. I find it fascinating, right? So we look at this Packers team, we look at this Jets team coming off the biggest win of the season, 40-17 against the Dolphins, who at the time were ahead of the Jets in the AFC East rankings. I felt like a lot of Jets fans expected a win over the Dolphins, especially when Teddy Bridgewater got ruled out on the first play of the game, or got hurt on the first play of the game, ended up getting ruled out later on. No Xavier Howard, the Jets were at home. I felt like a lot of Jets fans expected that win, but to go out and see not only it just actually blossom and happen, in front of our eyes, but to also see the score, 40-17, that's a statement win. That is a humongous win, in my opinion. Now, we asked the question, what can this Jets offense do to have success against this Packers defense? I think first and foremost, the Jets coaching staff has got to go into this game with pillars or a good foundation of realistic expectations for the game, right? By that, I mean knowing that Lambeau Field is a very, very difficult place to play. The fans are going to pack it in. It's going to be loud. So we have to understand that in critical in-game situations, whether it's going forward on a 4th down or maybe a 4th down decision, it's 4th and 1. Do we kick the field goal? Should we roll the offense out there to try to convert on that 4th down? I think the Jets coaching staff has got to be quick and snappy with their decisions, not wasting time, not looking around. It's going to be loud. It's going to be stressful. We have to enter the game with that mindset. Okay, so maybe we can do things throughout the week. Granted, today's Thursday, but I'm hoping the Jets coaching staff has done this. Maybe throw in a couple quick audibles for Zach Wilson. So, maybe if he sees a certain look on defense, he could just quickly audible out and it's not some big production to do that. Another thing that I want the Jets to understand is that I feel like the Packers are going to be playing pissed off, frankly, right? They dropped a game in London. They should have won. Okay, we talked about it before. They should have won that game. This Packers team, I don't envision them laying an egg at home. Aaron Rodgers, these guys, I'm not envisioning that. I think we are going to get Green Bay's best shot. We can talk about Matt LaFleur, Mike LaFleur, Robert Saleh, the big connection here. Everybody's friends. In the case of the two brothers, they're related. So it should be a fun game, but at the same time, I'm expecting to get Green Bay's best blow for sure. So I think the main thing that the Jets should do offensively is run the football. Feed Breece Hall, feed Michael Carter, two young great backs. And both guys are kind of hard to scheme for. They could hurt you on the ground or through the air. We take a look at Green Bay's defense against the run. They're allowing 126 yards on the ground, which is 21st in all of football. And they're also allowing 4.8 yards per rush, okay, which is 22nd in all of football. When you run the ball effectively, not only are we taking it out of Aaron Rodgers' hands, we're keeping him on the sideline, but we're controlling the game, we're setting the tone, and it also opens up play action. And the Packers' defense, pass defense against play action, is the worst in football. Granted, these numbers are we have to take these numbers with a grain of salt because it is such a small sample size, only through 5 games of the NFL season, but 5 weeks is 5 weeks. 5 games is still, we can figure out a lot about an opponent in 5 weeks, okay? So I know the numbers might not be extremely accurate, right? They might not reflect what the Packers ranks will look like at the end of the season, but we have to take advantage of where the Packers are weak. And funny enough for the Jets, this is actually one of their strengths. We talked about the 40-17 win last week against Miami. We really fed the running backs. I think if the running backs didn't have that performance, Breece Hall, Michael Carter, I don't think the Jets would have won that handily, to be honest with you. Okay, so really that's my plan on offense. Feed the backs to set up play action. So when we flip it and look at the Jets defense going up against Green Bay's offense, I really think the name of the game is the exact same thing that we were talking about before, but just flipped. So trying to neutralize Green Bay's running backs. Okay, much like the Jets, they have 2 stud backs in Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Aaron Jones is he's a flat-out beast, okay? He's having an absolutely phenomenal season so far. I mean, man, we take a look at his numbers. He has 390 rushing yards on the season, and he's averaging 6.4 yards per carry. Are you kidding me? That number's crazy. Okay, and AJ Dillon has 245 rushing yards, and he's averaging 3.9 yards per carry. Okay, it's 6 foot, 250 pounds. AJ Dillon, man, he carries defenders on his back as he's trying to pick up, first downs and touchdowns. Both backs are extremely fun to watch. Aaron Jones, you can't rule him out of the pass game as well. I think, and it kind of sounds ironic, right? Put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands and make him beat you on the perimeter in 3rd and longs, right? I think it almost sounds counterintuitive, and Rodgers can definitely beat teams by doing that. I completely get that, but I do think Green Bay's offense has had too much success in the running game this season, okay? And if you want to look at, where do we start? Let's start with trying to neutralize the run. So we need a big game from Quinnen Williams. Also, we look at the Jets' biggest strength of the defense so far this season. It's been the cornerbacks. Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Michael Carter. All 3 guys have been playing really good football. Let's play to that advantage, right? Let's really force Rodgers to challenge Sauce on the outside, to challenge DJ Reed on the outside to have success, right? He's going to be throwing to young receivers outside of Sammy Watkins. So I want to let's play the Jets style of football. Let's lean into it. Let's lean into the playmakers, lean into the strengths, and try our best to slow down Green Bay's rushing attack. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.